I'm going to be so honest with you. I don't think that that book was about that man's grief. I think that his grief was a commentary on the way that we sometimes allow our victimization to entitle us to complicity. Let me tell you what I mean by that. As you know, in this book, the main character is a butcher in a world where the only meat that people eat are lower class people who have been re identified or relabeled as product. And from the very first page, it is absolutely clear that despite his government's efforts to create this idea that these human beings are no longer people, he understands them to be people, and he understands what he is doing to be absolutely morally wrong. And we watch him wrestle with that, sort of. But because of the condition of the world, the government, his family, and his specific needs, he is comfortable wrestling with that only theoretically. For that character, his grief and his fear empower him to renegotiate with his guilt. Because he has lost things, he is capable of viewing himself as a victim, even while he is a villain. And I think that's further evidenced by the fact that at the end of the book, he is willing to become even more of a villain and to comply even further with this system of evil for the sake of regaining what he has lost. And I think if we're honest with ourselves, we'd have to admit that that concept very closely mirrors the way that privileged people behave in the real world. As long as we can point to grief or fear or discomfort in our own lives, we feel that we are entitled to contribute to the oppression and marginalization and abuse of other people because we can reframe it through advocacy for ourselves. And it's so fascinating because if we are honest with that story, he is not a victim. Even though he has experienced real loss and he experiences real fear, he has the privilege of still being a human being in a world where that is not guaranteed. And I think that that is an incredible takeaway for anyone who holds a privileged identity, especially white men. Even if the systems of oppression that you are complicit in are not your fault and you do not actively help to reinforce them, seeing the humanity of your victims is not enough. Wrestling with your privilege, theoretically, is not enough. Even wishing things were different is not enough. At least not as long as you're willing to still hold the knife whenever it benefits you.